of you would know exactly the difference between conviction of the Holy Spirit and condemnation by the devil. And yet somehow we listen. And I'm not shaming anybody there. It's open to every single one of us to do that. Take heed lest you fall. You know?
Yes.
We're all there with this in different ways in different areas. But there's this caution in us, like, why do we listen? Because maybe we don't actually know 24/7, 100% guaranteed, sealed, delivered, that we're in a place of perpetual righteousness. And that's the foundation of it. That I'm coming back to the reality that actually it's all about you, Jesus. It's all about you. It can't be earned. That was one of yesterday's questions. It can't be earned. It's a gift. You can't go back and fulfill the law when you're in the side of grace. It's that one question summed up this: am I in or out? In or out? Question. And the problem is that until that is settled, we have this opportunity to live under shame. And to abide there. This is where I'm going to jump off in a second. I want to come down to Christian shame. Which is partway down page 82. Number one, performance. If it's inside society, it's inside the church. Guaranteed. The church and the world actually have way too many similarities right now. There's a fear of poverty in the world, there's a fear of poverty in the church. There's a fear of swine flu in the world, there's a fear of swine flu in the church. You know, there's an economic shaking there, there's an economic shaking in the church. Why? Because a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. It's a split personality again. If we live out of it is finished. Yeah, the only reason I'm carrying travel insurance right now is because my father had sleepless nights without me travelling the world with it, and he paid. I said, fine, if you're going to pay, I'll take it. I'll take it as a gift, but don't expect me to claim on it. Really, this is just a security blanket so you can sleep well at night. Never needed to claim on it. Don't expect to ever need to claim on it. Why? Because I'm not in there. I'm in a different place. And we can live in that place. And like, the world is sick and the church is sick. The world is bound, the church is bound. It's not how it's supposed to be when he said it is finished. When he said you are a new creation, he didn't say until you get sick. He said you're a new creation. And by the way, whilst we're on the subject, let's deal with this. Jesus gave up his spirit. It couldn't be taken from him, and neither can yours. And you see the principle. We're Christ-like. We're made in his image. Satan could not take Jesus' spirit from him. He had to give it up. That was a free will decision. Otherwise, and I'm not saying this humorously, otherwise he would still be on the cross today. So why the fear of death? Christians, he can't take it from you unless, but it's ours to give up. This is why people having a death wish is so powerful and so hard to break. They literally have to choose life again, the person. Because at that point they've chosen death. And it's really hard to move anybody once they've decided they want to die. And I don't mean just old people. I mean teenagers and youth and everyone. I just wish I was dead. Be careful what you wish for. Jesus gave it up. So number one, bearing in mind He's come that we might have life and have it to the full, pressed down, shaken together, freedom, running over, all of that stuff. Number one, performance. Mustery and autery. Our dear friend Cecil Cousins growing up. Mustery and autery. M-U-S-T-E-R-Y A-U-G-H-T-E-R-Y. Must do this, ought to do that. Otherwise people, you know, this is at the M-U-S-T-E-R-Y A-U, or is it O-U? O-U. So I'm English. I can't be expected to spell. O-U-G-H O-U-G-H-T-E-R-Y. If you saw my notes, it's just, you know, the best one of the best things that ever happened to me. Spell checkers in software. I wish they'd been around when I could see. I'll tell you this story, alright? Every time I would write to my grandmother, and I still can't spell. Still can't spell. One day, Lord, one day I'm going to be able to do it. Write an entire book without ever needing the spell checker. But I'd write to my grandmother. Hi, you know, dear Nanny, whatever, love David. And every time she'd send me the letter back with all the corrections and a requirement that the next time I wrote to her, I had to send in the correct spelling 10 times for every word. You won't know how long that took to forgive. Shame, 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 fail, 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 fail. And I'm trapped because I had the demand and the requirement from my parents, you must write. And if I didn't write, she'd demand a letter. And then when you did, shame, shame, failure, failure, failure. Now that sows a mindset into a child. There's performance. Must do this, ought to do that, got to get it right, failure, failure, failure. People. Now let me just read what I wrote in the notes. Must do this, ought to do that. Otherwise, people and God might shame us or be unhappy with us. Can I let you into a secret? Most pastors feel that way. And I'm a pastor's kid. So I'm giving you a bit of inside information here. Most pastors feel that way. Must perform, must do this, must do that, otherwise people do that. Let the balls drop. Just let them whole lot drop. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? It will set the entire church free to fail.
Yes.
And then maybe they'll come into the ability of understanding forgiveness and grace. Let the balls drop. Moving on. Way too many pastors in the room now. Can't stop serving in church, otherwise what will people think? That's the pastors too. Can't stop serving, otherwise what will people think? And the more status or the bigger the title we have in church, then the more pressure there is to perform. That's why I'm David. Now you understand it. That's why I'm David. That's why I'm not wearing a name badge, because they've written pastor on it. And I'm not. I'm David. And I don't have to perform because I'm secure in His love. And I know that here, not here.